Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Hope your day and your week are going well so far. We've got NBA Finals Game 3 action on tonight, and I've got a solid NBA player prop parlay to share with you guys. But first, before we dive into today's video, guys, make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and drop a comment down below. It helps the channel grow, and it means a ton to us. Last video we did on Sunday for NBA Finals Game 2, we had a 4-leg parlay plus 592 odds. We just barely missed the mark. 3 out of 4 legs cashed. The only one that didn't was Jason Tatum, over 39.5 points, rebounds, assists. He finished exactly with 39, just half off from cashing a nice plus 592 parlay. So what that tells me is that we're on the money. We're so close. The data has been solid. I feel really good. I got another 4-leg parlay for Game 3 tonight. Another one over plus 500 odds. I'm feeling really good. I think tonight's the night we cash one and make you guys a little bit of money in these NBA Finals. So let's not waste any more time, guys. Let's dive into today's NBA player prop parlay. Jumping right into the outlier screen, guys. If you don't know what outliers, they are the best sports betting tool on the market. I cannot speak highly about them enough. There's a special link down below in our description. You get a 7-day free trial to check it out for yourself. No risk involved for you guys. You try for 7 days. If you don't like it, you cancel. No cost to you at all. But I promise you guys, you will love Outlier. I love Outlier. I say it all the time. I know you might think I'm bullshitting you. I'm not. Even if they didn't sponsor these videos, they didn't sponsor the channel, I would still use Outlier. It really is fantastic. It does truly help you become a better sports bettor. The data is important. Data is king. Data is key when it comes to sports betting, and Outlier provides that data for you guys. So one more time, 7-day free trial in our special link down below in the description. So here we go. 4-leg parlay for today's Game 3 NBA Finals. We are going FanDuel again, and I know I'm normally a DraftKings guy, but the facts are the facts. I said in the last video on Sunday, FanDuel, when it comes to the NBA playoffs, they've been offering more options for props, specifically the NBA Finals. A lot more options. Same game parlays have been a lot more creative. So I'm going to go with FanDuel here with today's parlay. First leg of our 4-leg parlay, we're going to go with Daniel Gafford here, over 14.5 points plus rebounds. We're getting this for plus 106 on FanDuel, so pretty good odds there. And look, guys, the data is pretty good across the board. You see 8 of his last 10 games, all, of course, being in the playoffs. He has cashed the over, averaging 17.2 points plus rebounds per game. He cashed this in Game 2 versus Boston. He had 13 points and 9 rebounds in that Game 2 loss for the Mavericks. In Game 1, he did fail to hit the mark, but in Game 2, he had a pretty nice game. And look, we don't know what's going on with Porzingis at the time of recording. He's still questionable. I don't know if he's going to play, what that's going to look like. Knowing the Porzingis injury, knowing that Al Horford at this point in his career defensively, he's just not the same player. I think Gafford could take advantage of this matchup at big time. I think Gafford has a really big game for plus money. This is a solid bet to go ahead and bet straight up. You can bet this straight up without being in the parlay. Of course, throwing in the parlay I think is a good idea. Yes, you could buy some points off and make it smaller, but for plus money, I think 14.5 is a pretty solid bet. He could cash this in points alone, to be totally honest. I think with Porzingis being hurt, it's a really good matchup here. And again, the data looks pretty good. I know the head-to-head data, man, it looked fantastic. You see one of his last 5 games versus Boston, he has cashed the over. However, some of these games he was not in the Mavericks. That's back in his time with Washington, and those are also back in 2022. So very different time, very different role, different team. Since joining the Dallas Mavericks, he's 1 for 3, but importantly, Game 2, he did have a good game. And it seems like once Porzingis got a little dinged up, that's when he really started to pick it up. So I'm looking forward to that. I think the injury to Porzingis makes this a very favorable prop to bet. All right, guys, in the second leg of our 4-leg parlay, we're going Drew Holiday here, over 9.5 rebounds plus assists. Now, this is a heavy alternate for minus 210 odds here. And, yeah, look, there's a part of me that wants to go ahead and take the 10.5 line, but I've seen so many people riding the 10.5 rebound assist line that it kind of scares me from taking it. I'd rather shave one off. I think 9.5 rebounds and assists is pretty good bet. It's green across the board. You see against the Dallas Mavericks, 4 of his last 6 matches versus Dallas, he's cashed the over, including Game 1 and Game 2 so far. He cashes over flying colors. Now, he'd also cashed 10.5 line with this data, but again, I'm playing a little safer here to get for the sake of getting a hit. You guys obviously can do what you want. You want to go ahead and take a little bit more of a risk, take 10.5. You see the data does change a little bit there, but the head-to-head data stays exactly the same. In 2023 so far, a 47% hit rate on this line. That's playoffs and regular season, but at the 9.5 line, it's 55%. So the data does improve pretty significantly. You see 8 of his last 10 games he's cashed over, including 6 consecutive games dating back to the Indiana series, he's cashed the over. So, in Dallas overall this year, you see they are bottom 5 in both rebounds and assists allowed per game. And versus the point guard position, they're both middle of the road, but again, Holiday has been cashing consistently through the first 2 games. Again, do what you want. I showed you guys what it looks like, but I'm telling you, play a little safer here if you're doing it for a parlay. Of course, if you're looking to bet it straight up, I understand. But if you're looking to bet a parlay, take the 9.5. Play it a little safer for the sake of a hit. All right, guys, in the third leg of our 4-leg parlay, again, we're taking a little safer here. We're going Jaylen Brown here over 20.5 points, getting it from minus 225 on FanDuel. Again, not a good bet to bet straight up, but if you're looking for things to throw in a parlay, this is a pretty solid line. Jaylen Brown, 8 of his last 10 games, cashed the over, including in 6 consecutive games. He has cashed the over both Game 1 and Game 2 of this series. He's cashes over. Now, if you go ahead and take the regular line, which I believe is 23.5, I guess 23.5, 22.5 roughly. The data is not very good, but you take him at this 20.5 line. And the data is pretty favorable. You see a 65% hit rate on the season for Jaylen Brown at this line. He's averaging 23.29 points per game this season. And look at the head-to-head data. 5 of his last 6 meetings versus Dallas, he has cashed the over. Only once this year did he fail, which was back on January 5th. He had 19 points in that game versus Dallas. And the Mavericks overall this year versus shooting guards, bottom 3 in the NBA, giving up almost 29 points per game. And versus small forwards, middle of the road, 20 points per game. Brown obviously plays between that shooting guard and small forward role. Been playing very well this series so far. Even in the last 20 games, 70% hit rate. Overall, the data is pretty good here for 20.5 point line. I like the spot for Jaylen Brown. He's been the more consistent player in this series. With Jason Tatum's offensive struggles a little bit, I think Jaylen Brown's going to have a pretty good game. We have got one more leg left in today's video, guys. We're about to hit the 7-minute mark. So if you're still watching at this point in the video, comment 7 down below. As always, thank you very much for watching through the entire thing. I really do appreciate that. The link for these picks will be down below in the description to go ahead and tail along. So, guys, comment 7 down below if you're watching this far. And as always, thank you for watching all the way through. And for our 4th and final leg of today's parlay, I'm going Kyrie Irving here over 21.5 points. We're getting this one for minus 188 here on FanDuel. And look, guys, I know Kyrie has not been good in this series so far. He hasn't really been good versus the Boston Celtics in general. You see here, only 2 of his last 7 games versus Boston has he actually cashed this over. And that's just with the Dallas Mavericks. We're not even going towards the end of his Brooklyn run, which wasn't very good either. But so far this year, a 69 nice percent hit rate on this over. 53 out of 77 games, including the playoffs, he has cashed the over, averaging 24.71 points per game. I think he's due. I think him playing in Boston really is a struggle for Kyrie Irving. I think the fans, the atmosphere, everything, I think it does get to his head. Coming back to Dallas for Game 3. It's a must-win game here with Porzingis being hurt, down 0-2. You lose this game, the series is over. I like Kyrie Irving here, over 21.5 points. I think he has a big bounce-back game. Someone has to step up for Luka if they're going to have a shot here, and it's got to be Kyrie. He's the running mate. Before this series started, we kept hearing, one of the best backcourts of all time, and blah, 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 and he's sucked so far in this series. I do think he's due to have a big game. He's going to have at least one Kyrie game. I think Dallas, I don't do picks here on these videos, I do just the props, but if you guys are looking for a pick, hammer Dallas tonight. I know I am. Even I'm a Boston Celtics fan, and you shouldn't bet against your own team. I look for money, and as a Boston Celtics fan, I can tell you this feels like a game the Celtics are going to lose. I feel like with the Porzingis injury and everything going on, Tatum's still trying to figure out his rhythm offensively. I think coming back to Dallas here, I think the Mavericks take advantage and win this game, and I think Kyrie Irving will have a very big game here tonight for the Mavericks. To the point that I'm almost thinking about increasing this a little bit. I think 21.5, we played it safe. So 22.5, let's see. 22.5. This is live. I mean, I might change it live here. 22.5 is minus 146, so a little bit higher. It's still 62% hit rate this year. 48 out of 77 games. Just one more point. I think Kyrie has a really big game tonight. You know what? We're going to switch it up. We're going to switch it. I'm going to go with 22.5. We're going to go live. It's just going to increase the odds a little bit to minus 146. So we'll take that one out. So we'll go ahead and do that. So we're going to go Kyrie over 22.5 points. So still a 62. Whatever way you do this, guys, the recent data is going to look shitty. Whatever way you do this, it's not going to look good. You get one more hit there if you do it at the 21.5. Across the board, though, the data is not great. But 62% hit rate this year, though, still pretty solid, averaging 24.71 points per game. This could kill us here. Absolutely could, but I think Kyrie is due. I think he's going to have a big game. I think he scores 25 plus tonight for Dallas. So I'll take 22.5. I'm not going to go any higher. I'll still take it on the safer side, go minus 146 here. But that is the fourth and final leg of today's parlay. All right, guys, so there is our 4-leg parlay. Again, one more time. Daniel Gafford over 14.5 points plus rebounds. Kyrie Irving over 22.5 points. Drew Holiday over 9.5 rebounds plus assists. And Jaylen Brown over 20.5 points. You go ahead and look over on FanDuel. You can look at what this parlay plays out. 4-leg parlay plus 621 odds. So it was, I think, plus 562 before we changed to Kyrie Irving. So if you want to go with Kyrie at 21.5, it'd be plus 562. At the 22.5 point line, it increases to plus 621. So really solid parlay for 4 legs. But guys, they got some profit boost there, 30% profit boost. There's a lot of stuff available right now with the NBA Finals, guys. So you can go ahead and take advantage of that here on FanDuel. So guys, that is it for me today. Thank you very much, as always, for watching. We will be back for Game 4. I believe it's Friday or Saturday. I think it's Friday. We will have another video for Game 4. But until then, guys, I hope we're all winners. Have a good one and enjoy Game 3 tonight.